My intention is for this to be a short video. I wonder how that will work out. My recent video, in which I made a touch probe, prompted some online discussion about probes for routers with limited Z height and direct mounting ER20 spindles. So I came up with this design, trying to keep it short by fitting directly into the spindle retained by the thread. This is an ER20 spindle nose, and this is the body of a probe made to the design in my last video. It is retained by a knurled ring, which mounts on the threads of the spindle. Clearly the body of the probe is bigger than the hole in an ER20 nut, so the probe body is held in the retaining collar by a spring clip. The central hub is much like the previous example, but I will be describing a method that I have come up with to improve the coaxiality of the probe tip. As a final tweak to the previous design, I am using a snap-in Wi-Fi aerial connector to mount the cable. First, the hub body was machined to suit an ER20 taper. And after a tool change, was back face machined and parted off. My milling machine can be configured with virtual B and W axes for angled drilling. I needed to set up the physical and virtual axes to be aligned, using a dial indicator. Then I used a 1, 2, 3 block to work out where the W, X and Z axes were in relation to each other. The bores for the contact rods were drilled using a carbide drill, purely for stiffness. The part was transferred to the lathe to bore out the central cavity. I then transfer the chuck and work to the mill to expose the contact rod holes. Rather than try to align the part, I use the angle around Z, or R touch-off capability of Linux CNC. The slots were cut by MDI using polar coordinates. A 3mm hole was drilled for the electrical connector. I made the central hub using a scrapped part. PEEK is too expensive to waste. The 12mm pins were still a bit too long, so I ground them down. The hub was assembled into the body by pushing the contact rods fully home. The trick I mentioned earlier to improve the stylus concentricity is to lock the assembled probe together with a screw from the back and then machine the hub face and thread in the assembled position.